last time on Traveling Gamer.
Yeah, this just happened. It is now officially dark out, and I still haven't got my tow. And this is the excellent tow truck man who actually got me out.
Hi, and welcome to the channel. I travel the U.S. in a self-converted van with my cat Tux. Join us on our adventures to see it all. What up, YouTube? So yeah, you're back for the price, huh? You didn't think I'd give it to you that quick, did you? Don't worry, it's coming up here shortly. As far as the tow, there was a good 15 minutes in between when the tow truck driver got there from when he actually got paid. At first, he couldn't even get me out, and for like 5 minutes, I was stressing out and didn't realize that I had the parking brake on. After I took it off, he was able to successfully get me out, but because we were in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, he couldn't actually get paid. So we pulled to the side because there was no service, and he told me just follow him, and when we get into service, I could pay him. After a grueling drive, we finally get to a spot where he has service, and he asked me to pull over right behind him. And guess what happens? Yep, I get stuck again. Wheel was just spinning in the soft snow. Damn two-wheel drive. So yeah, the guy had to pull me out again, and he graciously said he wouldn't charge me for this one, and I would hope not. He's the one that actually asked me to pull over here. So yeah, after he pulls me out for the second time, he charges me $500. This wasn't for a tow. This wasn't for a repair. This was literally just to pull me out of the ditch. I mean, I would have gladly paid this again for sure, but damn, Merry Christmas to me, I guess. I guess I ain't gonna make Voyagers National Park after all. At this point, I was pretty beat, cold, tired, and just kind of not feeling it right now. So instead of finding a place to sleep in my van, I decided to grab a hotel in town. At least it was cheap. $30 a night. No pets though, so I had to find a way to sneak the kitty in. Also, the Walmart parking lot in the town was actually closed because the interstate was closed, so there was a lot of cars and big rigs actually pulling into the Walmart parking lot and actually getting snowed in and stuck. So yeah, warm hotel, warm bed, and warm shower for the night, or so I thought. After having paid for the hotel on Kayak, I arrive and no hot water. Got him. What in the actual fuck? Oh well, I guess we'll be heating up hot water in the coffee pot tonight. I go to check in, and the guy at the front desk has a muscle shirt and no teeth. Yep, we're in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. The room was pretty nice, or as nice as I guess it should be for $30 in a small town. Here's a couple of photos of the cat enjoying and checking out his new surroundings. They even had breakfast, or that's what the kayak listing said. And by breakfast, I mean they had lukewarm coffee and nothing else. Room didn't smell, and the cat enjoyed being able to run around the room and hide under the bed. But for me, it was time for the crazy part. This cold winter shower. That's what I would have done if I was a responsible adult. I actually just moved my stuff in from the van and crashed. Today was a new day, and my body didn't want to be dirty anymore, but there was still just that one thing. There was no hot water, and it was -2 outside. I decided to do what anyone would do and take a coffee pot shower. Step 1 of coffee pot shower, turn on the coffee pot. Step 2, add water. Step 3, let it cool to safe temp. Final step, add body to warm water. So yeah, that was fun. At least I was clean and could get back in the bed and relax with the cat, watch some TV. And did I mention this hotel had a Roku TV? What? Small town Wyoming coming through?
Now that my body was clean and warm, I figured I'd go out to the vehicle and check and see if I'd done any damage. So went out and drove the car around, and what do you know? Engine light popped up after driving around town for a short while. Code P0480. Cooling fan trouble. Fuck. It was blistering cold, so the engine didn't get warm, but when opening the hood to take a look at the cooling fan, I noticed there was a ton of packed snow in the bottom of the engine bay where the car went nose first into the snow. I figured maybe this was why the fan wasn't spinning, so I would clear this stuff out and maybe that would get it back up and running. This is what's going on with underneath the engine. I gotta knock out all this snow that has accumulated from me going in the ditch. Hopefully you guys can see that in there. I had moved all my water into the hotel and only had a stick to try and knock out the snow. The stick didn't help because it was super packed, so I needed to get something warm on it. I needed to get something warm in order to actually melt the snow that was packed around the bottom, and the first thing that came to mind was pee. Now, if you're a guy, don't play me. I know you've actually peed in the snow when you were little, and maybe a little bit when you were an adult.
What? Yeah, that stuff's
I
delicious.
didn't have any that was
Lemon
warm
still?
because, you know,
from the
I'm in
sky
a
like that?
hotel
You
and
bet.
that would probably be a little bit weird, but I did have a little bit in a bottle in the van, and what do you know, that actually worked. I was able to get it loose enough to knock it out with the stick and drive around a bit more to, you know, shake the rest loose. I drove around a bit more to see if I could get the radiator fan to start back up, and unfortunately, no dice. It was not turning back on. So, went back to the hotel defeated, knowing that I needed to get back to sunny SoCal to regroup, warm up, and clear all the snow and ice out of the car so I can further assess the damage and see what I had done.
Meanwhile.
Okay. What's up, YouTube? So I thought I would document this since this is kind of all one video. I'm in the desert, so I'm away from Utah and away from the snow, but I thought I would show the damage. There's the cat. And yeah, so the car's overheating, and I don't think the fan, or I know the fan isn't coming on. So there's a few things that it could be. It could be the fuse. So this right here is the radiator fan fuse. It's a 60 amp. You can't really tell, but it is blown. This is the second one that I put in here. The first one I noticed was blown, and so I replaced it, and then I put it in there, turned the car on, and it blew immediately again. So this is your fan fuse. This is the low speed fan relay. And yeah, so I tested that. This obviously isn't working. And so I tested the fan right now. Basically, in order to test the fan, what I did was, I don't know if you can see, yeah, so that right there is where the fan plugs in at. I took the alligator clips, plugged those in, and plugged it up to the battery, and so the fan does spin. So there's nothing wrong with the actual fan. And then this is another relay here for the fan, and this actually goes in right there. And yeah, so we're going to test that, and I'll show you how to test that, and I'll also show you how to test the other stuff here. But yeah, so I plugged the fan up, it does work, so we're Gucci there. Now let me get this stuff in the back, and then I will show you how to test these. Okay, so we're back here, and we're going to be testing some stuff. Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, so this is probably the cheapest thing here. It's just a standard fuse. Actually don't know what these type of fuses are called. I'll put it in the description, but yeah, so you want to test this first because it's usually the cheapest. This, and then the relay, and then this is a fuse relay, or a radiator fan relay as well. So this is basically the order of cheapest to the most expensive, and then of course replacing the radiator fan is going to be even more expensive. So in order to test this, you just want to turn your multimeter to continuity and just probe these, and you can see it makes a beep if they touch. So it would be beeping if this were a live fuse, but I don't know. Let's see if I can zoom in. Can you? No, I can't zoom in. You're just gonna have to trust me. It's blown. So you can see that it's blown. Now we want to test this relay here. Okay, so now we're gonna test the relay. The simplest way to test it is basically do a click test. Basically, you hook the power lines here, which in my case, and I believe usually, are 86 and 85. So you hook those directly to the battery, and you should hear the relay click. But because I have a multimeter with resistance on it, I'm going to be testing the resistance of this relay. Right now, nothing's turned on, so this would be in an instance where the fan would not be on, and it says open line, OL. That means nothing's connected. So when I connect this line to the positive of the battery, I should get a reading here on the resistance, and it won't be open line. Basically, there's power going through the relay. So just a quick explanation of how I have things hooked up here. We have 80, 86 and 85 connected, and we're gonna hook those to the battery. Right now I have one there, and I'm gonna plug this one up. And then we have 30 and 87 connected to the multimeter. Basically, this is your switching line. So when the relay is energized, this switch closes, and it basically turns on the radiator fan. So you should hear a click when I plug this to the battery here. I think you guys can hear it. So with it clicked, I should get something on the multimeter here. Yeah, so it's showing resistance. Okay, so when I unclick this, it should click again, and this should go back to open line. So yeah, this looks like it's working fine. Okay, now the final thing we're gonna test is this bad boy here. So how this works is this should, when activated through the relay, allow current through. So we're gonna check resistance on this with the multimeter, kind of like we did with the relay. So we will get the alligator clips hooked up to this and then test it with the relay. Okay, alligator clips are connected. Right now it's still showing open line. If I touch these, it will calculate a resistance, and so that should happen as well when I hook this to this positive alligator clip. So when I do that, we get nothing. So that means this part is bad. I don't know if you can see the crack there, but this guy overheated when I got caught in the snow, and yeah, so we just want to replace this, And yeah, that's the diagnosis for what we have. And then we should be back up and running.